Please welcome Alexandru Budisteanu.
Buenos dias, Madrid. It is a great pleasure to be over here. I am over here to tell you to unleash your power. Everybody has the power, but only a few of you has the desire to change the world. It is the desire and the life habit of yourself if you want to change the world. This is me. My name is Alexandru Budisteanu. I'm from Romania. I'm 23 years old. That's my garage. I build electronics over there. I love to do stuff. I do software, I do electronics, I do hardware, I do everything I want because this is my passion. In the past, I've been working to self-driving cars, autonomics. We received $75,000 from Intel for the project. I've been working to VisionBot pick-and-place robots. We received 60,000 euro investment from Hyundai Romania, European Union, and so on. And a few years ago, I've been nominated by Time Magazine as one of the most influential things in the world for my passion, just playing with my passion. You know, I'm here to tell you that you have to choose a job you love, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. That said Confucius. Maybe he said in Chinese many years ago. But this is very important. You know, people, they say, you know, like me, you know, find your passion. But actually, nobody's born with a passion. You have to lead your passion. You know, I'm with computers. I love to do stuff with computers, electronics, robots, and so on. But if I was born 100 years ago, definitely I was not with computers. Maybe I was a soldier. Maybe I was a mathematician or something like that. But I was not doing computers. So nobody's born with a passion. Try to lead your passion. Try to make a life habit for yourself to play with that and spend your time over there. About 2 billion jobs gonna disappear by 2030. But 2 other billion jobs gonna appear by 2030. New jobs gonna appear for you, for everybody else. You know, those are jobs that didn't exist 20, 25, 30 years ago. Bloggers didn't exist 30 years ago because the internet was in its infancy. There were no Android developers. There were no iOS developers. There were no video bloggers 5 years ago. We have very famous video bloggers over here from YouTube. They didn't exist 5 years ago. That job didn't exist. So you have to learn every day. You have to work every day. But being passionate. Because if you are passionate, you will never find a day in your life, you know, working. You'll just play. You just play with your passion. This is a famous picture from 1990s in Shanghai and in 2010. Millions of Chinese lost their jobs. They were farmers, but millions of the same Chinese got new jobs, working in offices, doing software, doing computers, doing something else. The world is changing, but you have to change. You have the power. Just try to find that power and the desire to change the world, because this is the world we live in. You know, jobs appear, jobs disappear. US was making billions of dollars cutting the ice from Alaska, shipping it to India, shipping it to, you know, Middle East and so on for the rich people. But that job, that business that was making billions of dollars back then disappeared because somebody invented the refrigerator. And nobody got interested in cutting the ice from Alaska and ship it back over there. It was the ice trade, and it worked for 60 years. You know, another famous picture, you know, before computers, people had to do a lot of jobs. And in the US, there were like thousands of kids that they were paid to be bowling alley pin setter. They were working for the bowling to set the bowling over there. That job disappeared because somebody invented a machine. It was not perfect. It didn't work very well. You still had one person at that time. But somebody invented that. You have to be the person who creates that kind of stuff, not the person who is working in that. That's the difference. That's the mentality. You have to find a work habit, but actually a life habit. Because in order to become successful, you have to work and live in the same day, in the same time. This is a famous picture. Same people, but the same people. From Vatican 2005, same people 2013. The difference, technology. The creativity of one person, Steve Jobs, who was able to put the tablet in everybody's hands. Here are the same people. Maybe in the previous pictures, the people were no longer. But in those, it's our generation that had so much disruptions. And you have to be the person who actually either sell the tablets by being a market genius or developing the tablet. That's the way you can achieve greatness. You know, in 2002, Bill Gates introduced the tablet, the tablet PC, which was with Windows XP, and nobody cared. In 2010, Steve Jobs introduced the iPad. The world got thrilled about the product. And in 2012, Steve Ballmer introduced the Surface, and everybody was accusing Apple for stealing the product. You know, you need to find the idea, to work on the idea, and to find the momentum. The momentum is very important. So the success can't be defined in this way. You have the idea, the momentum, you work hard. That means execution. You have to work every day, every night for your product, especially if you are a startup. If you are a startup, you don't have hundreds of people. You cannot afford to pay hundreds of people to work for your project, for your product. And you have to work. You have to live to live in that idea. You have to believe in your product, and you have to work. That means execution. And after that, after many years, will not happen over the night, you're going to get success. So the most crucial is execution. This is what means power. To be able to do it. And Americans, they say, do everything you can for achieving your goals. What means execution? This is my life habit. I actually did wrong over there. I wrote work habit. This is actually my life. I really love to be in front of those computers. It was just a picture a few days ago I published on Facebook. And this is what I love. I want to open the computer, to code over there, to work on Linux, and to develop. That's what I love to do. That's what makes me happy, actually, to work over there. This is, in order to become great, you have to do something like that. In your field, maybe you are interested in biology. Do that stuff in biology. If you are interested in physics, do that stuff in physics. If you are interested in video bloggers, in video blogging, and something like that, you have to do a life habit. Like every day, thinking and working to achieve your dreams, to achieve your stuff. This is very important. People, they are thinking that you can achieve greatness over the night. Not really. In order to become a professional, it takes about 10,000 hours to perfect. That's the idea of Malcolm Gladwell. Maybe I'm at 4,000, 5,000 hours of hard work in my profession. I still need to work more. But I am on that way. You have to be on that way to become really awesome. Now I'm going to tell you about some of my startups. VisionBot, it's like a 3D printer for electronics. It is helping makers. This is the Apple prototype. But people like me, they work, they do prototypes and so on, but they're lacking the technology to manufacture. Because this is one of the prototypes, or the first units of the Apple I, made by Steve Wozniak. This is the product. Not much difference, but behind there were millions of dollars, because they had to build a factory. If you do electronics, you need machines, you need electronics, like you need factories and so on to collaborate, to work with them, and so on. And, the electronics, your smartphones are done in those kind of factories over there. And people like me from Romania, we cannot actually work with those factories because they refuse us because of the small amount of units and so on. So I went back to my homemade laboratory for my projects, and I designed a machine, a prototype for my need to manufacture electronics. Because the product, the solutions on the internet were like $60,000, were super expensive, they were secondhand and very costly. So I decided like a 3D printer for electronics. The machine is like, instead of printing plastic, it's picking and placing tiny electronic components onto the printed circuit board. I did a prototype. I'm going to show you how I did the prototype. This was the screenshot of the software, and because you also need to do software, and here should be a video. Let's hope it's gonna work. It works. So the machine is not something new. It's just using the technology of 3D printers. But instead of printing plastic, I said we can pick and place electronic components over there. And we use computer vision software in order to understand if the electronic components had been picked correctly in order to avoid misplacing them. So you need just to execute. But what's interesting is that once I started a project, I got even orders for my prototype that was barely working for me. And I'm going to tell you how you can turn your prototype into a business just in a few seconds. So this is how the machine works. And how I started. It's super simple. I got this idea. I was coming back from Shanghai with my problem of how to buy those expensive machines. And I got this idea, okay, let's use the technology from 3D printers. And I placed the microscope, some cameras over there. And I was thinking, working. You can see there are so many wires over there. I was prototyping. That's prototyping. This is the first prototype that was barely working. And I got people interested from Canada to buy the prototype. This is the second version. You can see iteration, working. Hardworking, trying to do. But for me, it was not hardworking. It was just like playing with my passion. Everybody can do it. It's not something hard. In order to do it, you have to do it. I'm just saying to everybody, to learn coding, you code. To learn to do YouTube, you YouTube. So automatically, you have to do that stuff in order to learn it. It's not something hard, it's not something impossible. Everything is possible, either by you or by somebody else. But it's possible. The challenge was, after that, how to turn the prototype into multiple products. Because I got people interested to buy the product, but I was making only a prototype. So after that, I built a small manufacturing facility, like a small Chinese facility in Romania, to manufacture those robots. It was hard, because hardware is hard. You need equipment, you need machines to manufacture, and so on. So it's super hard. So this is my garage that was transforming in a small company for electronics manufacturers. And we do electronics over there, and we manufacture those robots. And you can see, there are like units in different stages over there. Even now, we still iterate our product, because we want to optimize for ourselves, for it to become faster in manufacturing those machines. And, I'm working. This is the second room of the manufacturing facility with multiple robots over there, because this was my passion, my dream. Okay, I want to build a prototype, and then I got people said, I want to buy your machine. How can I get it? And I was saying, we just built one, and then we decided, okay, we can actually manufacture a few more, and we started to manufacture those robots. But the thing is that in hardware, you need equipment. It's expensive. I actually built with my own money. The first prototype and so on. The first prototype you have seen was like $500. Don't imagine my garage is worth millions of dollars. No, it's very small amount of money. Everything is like linear. You don't have to spend a lot of money in your idea at the beginning. This is technology. You just have to spend very little money on your project, on your idea, to see if it's gonna work. And after that, you have to find if there are customers that are willing to buy a product. Because if you build the most awesome product, but the only user will be you, then automatically people will not be interested in your product, and it will be great for you, but that's it. It's just for you. The project started for me, but I saw that there's some people are interested to buy such kind of machine, and you can see the manufacturing facility went bigger and bigger to manufacture those robots, and but hardware is still hard. And after that, I'm a software background, so how it started to get customers. I did a website. I'm a software developer. I did the website visionbot.net, and I told you, like, even with the first prototype, we had received a request from a company from Canada to buy the product from us. And we said, this was for us, it's barely working, and so on. And I did SEO. Software developer, super easy to do. And surprisingly, for those machines, in just 1 year, there are 30,000 people interested to buy those kind of robots. So there is market for almost everything. Another product that we are developing, it's SkyHub. It's a social network that is allowing people to change the world by connecting, discovering, and talk. It's like a Reddit, but the difference is that it is trying to reward users for the content they create. We call them a revenue sharing model. Like, if you answer to a question that has been seen by 1 million people, you're gonna get like $200, $300, because the website is making that. Like, Facebook is keeping billions of dollars from the user content. every year. So we are trying this new kind of model that we are trying to share the revenue with the user who built the platform, with the people who created the content and so on. And it is a social network for forums. We started in Mountain View. We got this idea at the Singularity University. We pitched, we pivoted, and so on. I'm still working. It's a beta version. But, work habit. You have to build it. Because if you'll not build it by yourself, nobody's going to build it for you unless you hire people. And we started the NASA Ames Research Center in order to understand the business model, to understand if it's going to work, and so on. And it was interesting to see it. And the solution was, people, it's very hard to find on Google or on the internet people that share same passion with you. If you like microbiology, it's hard to find people on Facebook that you can start project with them on Facebook in microbiology. So we decided this platform to allow people to, to find other people that share same passion, same interest with you, and even to start a project together. Because it's almost impossible to start projects on Google. And it's hard to find people that wants to work with you on something common, on something, a problem that matters for them. So people, they discover problems, and after that, they try to work together for that problem. And, we iterated. This was actually the first version of the website. We are changing the technology. Everything's changing. Software changed a lot. Every day is changing. Like the technology is changing, and we had to change a lot of the code and a lot of the prototype and so on. We are still developing. Once you have a work habit to do software, to do something, you will never stop working because you love to do that. And that's what I want to tell you guys. You have the power to change the world, but you have to have the desire to change the world. And the work habit, the life habit. We are having some solutions that you can sell your own content on our platform, and you can, have a revenue share model for your content. You get some rewards for the content you create and so on. The platform is online. It's skyhub.me. We have a lot of content in Romania, though. And another project I've been working, it's Autonomics. It's a self-driving car solution for an artificial intelligence solution for self-driving car. It was the first prototype we built, and the software is able to detect the traffic lanes, how to change the steering wheel in order to keep the car on the road. It was using some paradigms of artificial intelligence, and when we started the project in 2013, there was no deep learning. And now we are changing our solution to make a deep learning neural network to learn to drive itself from human behavior. This one is more with engineering code, and now we are trying to see how this deep learning and deep neural network can help our solution to drive better from just human driving. The key of success for self-driving cars, full autonomous, is to have some sensors. And I'm going to tell you the biggest problem. So I started these projects actually when I was senior in high school. But it's very hard business. It's hard to sell self-driving cars on the market. It's impossible, actually, for a person to sell something like that. And for me, it was a challenge. Can I build something like that? I built the software that was using artificial intelligence. I built the algorithms and so on. I did an interesting solution with GPS. It was a challenge. Challenge yourself for your idea. Don't just keep the idea. Challenge yourself to build that stuff. For example, I challenged myself if I can build a collaborative database of traffic signs. And just after a few months, I built it. But the problem of the full autonomous is that they use very expensive 3D LiDARs. There is a device on the roof of the car that is scanning the environment. It's like a radar used for scanning. And the current solution is Velodyne. In 2013, Velodyne 3D LiDAR was $75,000. Of course, when I was in high school, I couldn't afford to buy something like that. I even didn't know how much it is when I started the project. And solutions from Google, Volkswagen, Ford, and so on, they were using this kind of expensive 3D LiDAR. And I decided, okay, I understand how it works. Can I build something like that? And I did the small prototype for $200. It was interesting. It was almost the same kind of concept, the same kind of technology over there. Not for full autonomous, but it can work for semi-autonomous and so on. But the technology evolved. And now we are thinking how to use the adaptive cruise control and deep learning to make the car to drive itself without 3D LiDARs and so on. But it's interesting. You can actually achieve almost anything you propose. Anything you want, you can achieve it, but it's only through execution, and if you don't get demotivated, that's very important, because if you get demotivated, automatically you cannot achieve greatness. And, I was iterating over there, I was trying to do the software and so on, but still hardware is hard. It's not software. Software is just simple. You have your laptop, and you can build something great over there. You can build $1 billion company on a laptop in a dorm room. But hardware, it's hard, because you need equipment, you need machines, and so on. We designed the second prototype of the 3D LiDAR, and but now we are thinking about a new solution to just with simple parking sensors and so on for the 3D LiDAR. We are in discussion with a company from Dubai for our solution. But the most important thing I want to tell you is to follow your heart. You like something. Everybody likes something. I like self-driving cars. I try to do something like that. Everybody loves something. Try to focus with your stuff. Try to build that stuff. Because if you're not building it, nobody's going to build it for you. And that's the way you can build. Another project we started, it's Save Energy. It's a partnership with a company called Evonomics. And we are building a smart socket that is using artificial intelligence in order to reduce your bill, electricity bill. You have your TV, you turn off your TV, but the TV is still consuming a little bit of electricity. So we designed this device, an Internet of Things device, that is understanding the behavior of the devices. And when the software is detecting that the device went in the standby mode, we automatically shut down those devices to consume zero electricity. We are still we did the prototypes, we're going to manufacture the units for the customers and so on, but we built a device. We designed the software, we converted the prototype into a semi-industrial version, because for manufacturing you need an industrial version and so on. In my garage, where I assemble robots, we assemble also those smart sockets and so on, because the only way you can build stuff is by your own hands. By your own, or with partners. It's very important to find partners, because you can achieve faster your dream with their help. If they share the same ideas, if they share the same passion with you. It's very, very important. People are saying it's hard to do something. It's very hard to start, but once you get on the right way, on the right track, it's super easy to accomplish that. It's just your dream, your work. And I like to say something like this. If you don't build your dream, one day, someone gonna hire you to build their own dreams. I also hire people to build my own dreams, but it's very important to build your own dreams. Because in this room, we have a few hundreds of dreams, maybe thousands of dreams, because one person maybe has more dreams, right? Just act. Act to build your dream. And the way to build your dream is by working. And the easiest way to do it is by having a great and simple work habit, a life habit, to combine your life with whatever you like. This is the way you can achieve anything you want in your life. And the last thing, follow your passion. First, discover your passion, lead your passion, and then follow your passion, actually. And live your dream. This is my dream. I love to do this kind of stuff, and I just want you to believe in yourselves. We are all, human beings with minds. We just have to follow our heart and our mind in order to build those kind of stuff. Everybody has ideas. Everybody has solutions. Everybody has problems. And from problems, you come to solutions. But you have to scale. If you do your solution, then you have to scale how to solve that problems to many other people. And this is the way you can achieve to live your own dream. And this is the last picture and the last slide. This is my dream over there, working on my projects, and this is what I love to do. And I just want to tell you, live your own dreams, live your own passion alive. Thank you very much. So now ask me anything. Turn on your mobile phones and put me questions about anything you want. I think I'm gonna have to go closer to the monitor. And I'm really eager to hear your questions. We still need to wait a little bit for the team. You can also ask me in the breaks, but it's also awesome to ask over here because maybe other people have the same question with you. Okay, so the questions. We are still waiting. Maybe the system got flooded by the too many questions from you. It got the Stack Overflow. Okay. Yeah, I have 2 monitors over here, and I see the team is working on something, but I cannot guess on what. In the meanwhile, you can use the microphone to put questions if you have until they solve the problem. You can raise your hand, and the girl over there is going to help you. Yeah, go ahead.
How did you first learn programming and doing electronics? By yourself or
Yeah,
in university?
it's a very interesting question. I told you I'm from a city called Hackerville. So everybody in my city is loving computers and so on. So I got my first computer at age of 3. It was a 386 computer, and I played games. I played thousands of video games. But the thing was, it was quite hard, to move from games to programming, and I was buying a lot of magazines about video games. And one of those video games, they stated that you can use a programming language called QBasic to develop your own game. So I got, quite motivated, sparked by this idea that I can build my own video game. And in 4th class grade, I decided to use QBasic to write my own video game, but it was a major difference between what I was learning and what I was achieving. I was trying to achieve the video game. And that's the way I started to do coding by myself. And then in 5th class grade school, I learned some algorithmics, but software development is not the same with theoretical computer science. And I just learned by myself a lot. And at the school, I just went to a few competitions and so on to get some experience and to get, working on my projects and so on. And electronics, I started in 10th class grade when I saw that, with software you can do a lot of stuff, but you cannot do many other stuff. So I said, I can do also hardware, electronics, and then I started to learn electronics. Okay, so we have some questions, but I cannot see them, unfortunately. What do you think about the planned obsolescence in technology products? Okay, very tough question. Most companies, they try to do products that are simple. People like me, makers and so on, they usually do products very complex, like the robot is super complex. Like, there are so many stuff over there. Maybe this is the reason why I started to build the robots while all others were working on 3D printers, because pick-and-place machines are like 10 times harder. So products wants to be super easy to use by anybody. By your grandmother, by my mother, she doesn't know how to turn on the computer and so on. So, the people who are designing those kind of technology, they actually spend tremendous time to simplify the product, to simplify the technology. Okay, how did I learn how to start coding and how I started my journey? I told you I was playing video games, but I played like thousands of video games. And from age of 3 to age of 10, 11, I decided, okay, I play quite a lot. I started with Golf 3D, with Doom 1, actually, not Doom 2. And I was playing those video games, and I got sparked by a PC magazine, a video game magazine, to start my own games. And actually, in 3rd class grade, I installed Autodesk 3ds Max 6, 7, and I started to do 3D models. But I didn't find the inspiration, because in 3D, when you design objects on 3D on computers, you start from a box and you create a computer. You start from a box, you create a human mesh. You start from a box, you create anything, a car. And I couldn't find that kind of stuff, but I understood that it's only by hard work. Once you get hundreds of those models, you will get inspiration and ideas of how to design from a box anything you want. But I didn't find that, and I decided, okay, video games have players, and models, and after that, somebody's coding those. Maybe it's coding for me, and then I started to learn coding for class grade. How do you manage to earn the trust of investors, programmers, and other collaborators being that young? Just be yourself. If you have a good work habit and work ethics, then you can achieve anything you want in your life. It's super easy. It's not something hard. And you just have to be yourself in front of the investors. But I learned something that in Romania and probably in most of European Union, kids are not taught in schools is to sell yourself. Like being a maker, I was actually introverted. Like I was super afraid of stage, but I knew how to speak. I wanted to speak about my passion, my projects, and so on. And that's the way you can achieve to talk about anything you want. So just be yourself and go to the investors with your passion. That's my idea of how to talk to investors. And I think that's all. And if you have other questions, you can see me in the breaks. Have a nice time. Bye-bye.